In this session, we're going to continue our discussion of accuracy. And for me, pinning is pretty important. And the pins that I use are also important. So I'd like to share with you some different sizes and what it means when I pin my fabrics for my blocks together. This is the first pin I would like to talk about. This pin is very large. It is called a quilting pin. The diameter is thick on this pin. I don't know much about math, but I know it's large. And when I place my fabrics together to pin, I want to get them aligned. I don't want to see the bottom fabric on the top, and I don't want to see the top fabric on the bottom. So I'm getting ready to pin, and I take this particular pin and I push it into my fabric, and I get this hill or mountain, as I call it. And when I am sewing along and I get to here and I remove that pin, that much fabric has to go somewhere, and I get things out of alignment. And I also will see the blue on the bottom. I'll see a little bit of the green on the top. As I go through the pins, each one becomes thinner and easier to put in. But take a look at this clover pin. It's a glass head pin. It is extra fine, and when I place the pin in the fabric, you can see it hardly moves the fabric at all. So therefore, when I am pinning, I don't have as much fabric movement when I remove that pin. There's also another trick that I would like to share with you. Pushing the pins into your fabric moves the fabric. So I recommend that you place the pin straight into the fabric, then turn it and push it in, and you won't get any movement on your fabric. You won't see the green from the top side, and you won't see the blue from the bottom side. Then when pins become like this and you use them in your quilting or piecing, you are going to find that the accuracy is no longer there. When you get to this point, this pin gets thrown away. That will help considerably with your accuracy in your pinning. Now I want to talk about butting seams together and how to pin those seams. So I am going to make a 4-patch, and these two seams need to butt up against each other. I'm going to place them together, and I'm going to bring those so those seams catch right there. Typically, we would take these seams and we would place the pin on either side of the seam where it comes together. I'm going to show you another way that I pin so that I can keep that seam butted up. I will take my pin and I will place it 1/8 of an inch to the right of my seam line, and I will angle it so that it comes down just to the left of my seam line on my fabric. That way, when I am placing this under my presser foot and I am sewing, I can actually sew over that one stitch over my seam line. My fabric is not going to move. Then I can remove my pin, and I know that I'm not compromised and it's going to stay put. I like that method. It works for me. Give it a try, see if it works for you too. And remember, it's all these little details that make this work for accuracy in piecing.